Today we're going to continue on exploring quadratics. Okay, remember that standard form for a quadratic is ax squared plus bx plus c. So in the first examples, it wants you to identify the a, the b, and the c of each part of the quadratic. So for this one, what's the value of a? 3. What's the value of b? 6, and c is 1. Now do the next one on your own quickly. Okay, this one, what's the a? -1. What's the b? And the c? Good. Now we're going to look at whether the graph opens upward or downward. Please remember that if the a is positive, it opens upward and makes a happy face. And that's how I remember it. Positive is happy. If the a is negative, it's going to open downward. It's a sad face. All right, so then we're going to figure out what the axis of symmetry is. And that's where you need your star chart, because there's a formula to find the axis of symmetry and the vertex. Okay, so here we go. Look at this first example. Is the a positive or negative? So is that going to be a happy face or sad face? That's a sad face, so it's going to open down. Now we're going to learn the axis of symmetry formula. Okay, so everybody go to your star chart. Does everybody see the axis of symmetry formula? Now, for my people who weren't here, the axis of symmetry is basically like, where would you fold the paper to make the parabola the same on the left as it on the right? Okay? All right, so let's write that formula down. X equals -b over 2a. All right, so here we go. We're going to do -b. Well, what is b? 12. So -12 over 2 times a. Well, what's a? All right, now we're going to solve that. -12 over -4. And what is -12 divided by -4? +3. So the axis of symmetry is at x equals 3. So if I graphed this, it would look something like this, and y'all don't have to go do it. Actually, I'm just going to show you in your calculator. That would be easier. So if I graph -2x squared plus 12x minus 7, you will see right here, if I was to draw a line through right here, that's where it's going to be symmetrical on both sides. Yes, and that is at x equals 3. The vertex is going to be on the axis of symmetry right here. Yes, let me zoom in just a little bit. Let me go up to 15. So everybody agrees this is the vertex right here, yes? All right, so am I still at x equals 3? So the x value will be 3, but to find the vertex, we have to find the y value. And to do that, you can simply plug this in for x, and it will give you the y. Make sense? So let's go do that. And I already wrote it. This is equals, not -y. Where am I? Right here. Okay. This is an equal sign. That's not a -y. So where did I get this from? From this equation. So it's -2 times x squared plus 12 times x minus 7. Does everybody see where I got it from? But what are we going to plug in for the x? The 3. So you're just going to plug in a 3 here, and you're just going to stick that in your calculator, and whatever you get is the y value for the vertex. So take your calculator and type it in. All right, did everybody get it? What is the y? 11. And you can see in my graph that it is at y equals 11. The axis of symmetry is x equals 3, so the vertex is 3, 11. All right, the next question. I'm going to let you answer this one first on your own. Is it going to open up or down? All right, how does it open? Up. How did you know? Because the A is positive. Very good. All right, for the axis of symmetry, I'm going to let you do it on your own. You're going to use the axis of symmetry formula. X equals negative B over 2A. And it's actually x equals. All right, did everybody get negative 1/4? That is your x value in your vertex. To find the y value of your vertex, simply plug in negative 1/4 for x. And I already set it up for you down here. That is, again, not a negative y, that's y equals, okay? It's just vertex equals. All right. So y equals 4 times negative 1/4 squared plus 2 times negative 1/4. And then I left this part off, minus 2. Now be careful on this part. That's a negative 4 times negative 4th, which is going to give you a positive. So could I go ahead and take off that negative part? Yes. Okay. So I have 4 times 1/4 squared plus 2 times negative 1/4 minus 2, which is negative 2.25, or negative 2 1/4. Questions? Easy? All right, so let's talk about what we just learned. We learned how to know if it opens up or down by looking at the A. If it's positive, it opens up. If it's negative, it opens down. We learned the axis of symmetry formula. Super easy. You put it, and that's your x equals. And then we learned that to find the vertex, you take the axis of symmetry and plug that in for x, and it'll give you the y value. All right, moving on. Now we're going to tell whether a function has a minimum or maximum value. So if it opens up, it has a minimum value. Yes? If it opens down, it has a maximum value. All right, so look at this first one. It goes like this. I don't know why it went down. So let's look at this first one. What is the value of A? Positive or negative? So draw it like this. It's going to be like this. So would that have a minimum value or a maximum value? A minimum. It has a lowest point. It has a minimum. Now we're going to find the axis of symmetry by using the axis of symmetry formula. So x equals negative b over 2a. Now, real quick, does this even have a b? No. Remember, it's ax squared plus bx plus c. This is the a, this is the c. What is the b? 0. So I have negative 0, which is just 0, over 2 times a, 2 times 1. Well, what is 0 divided by anything? So what is my axis of symmetry? X equals 0. And if I want to know my vertex, I plug this x value in for x. So I have 0 squared minus 6. Well, 0 times 0 is 0. And what's 0 minus 6? So x is 0, y is negative 6. Try the next one on your own. All right, since the A was negative, it's going to go down like this. Therefore, it has a maximum value, the highest point that it reaches. The AOS is negative B over 2A. All right, well, this is your A, your B, and your C. So if I have a negative, negative 1, what does that mean? It's a positive, because an opposite of negative, it just cancels each other out. So I have a positive 1 over 2 times A, which is negative 2. That equals 1 over negative 4. So the x equals negative 1/4. So my vertex will be negative 1/4, comma, and whatever I get for y. Do y'all want a little more time to figure that part out? Or y'all good? All right, so I have negative 2 times x squared, that's negative 1/4 squared, minus negative 1/4, which becomes plus 10. So I have negative 2 times, and I'm going to go ahead and call this a positive because it's squared. And there's my answer, 10.125. All right, flip to the back. It's going to get really easy. Use the quadratic function to complete the table of values. They want you to use your calculator. So here we go. Let's go complete the table of values. So go to y equals, type the equation in. Go to the table and complete the table. Based off of this, can you determine these 3 things without using formulas? The answer is yes. First of all, I know that this is going to be a happy face because it's going up, because A is positive. Therefore, it has what kind of value? A minimum. The axis of symmetry is going to be in the middle where the table starts to repeat itself. So does everybody see that it goes 11, 1, negative 5, negative 7, negative 5, 1, 11? Where is the middle? Right here. That is your vertex. So my vertex is negative 1, negative 7. My axis of symmetry is on my vertex, and it's x equals whatever the x value is. So if you make a table, you can see the vertex in the axis of symmetry. The reason we use the formula here is because it was crazy decimals. That table is not going to show me all that. Make sense? But if it's integers, you can easily see it in a table. So I'm going to let you do this one on your own and see if you can see it. Okay, based off the equation, A is negative, therefore it opens down. So what kind of value does it have? A maximum. Does everybody see the middle of the table where it starts to repeat itself? That is your vertex. And the axis of symmetry is the x value on the vertex. Okay, change the page. This is our last example, I think. Yeah, this will be the last one we do. It wants you to use the graph, fill out the table, graph it, label the vertex, the axis of symmetry, and if it's minimum or maximum. All right, so here we go. Go to y equals. Fill out the table. Go graph it. All right. Since this opens upward, does it have a minimum or maximum? A minimum. This point right here is your vertex. And you can see that it's the point right here where the table starts to repeat itself. So the vertex is at 1, -1. And the axis of symmetry is where if I was to draw a line, it's going to be mirrored the exact same thing on the left as it is on the right, which is the x value of the vertex. X equals 1. And then this was what? -1. Everybody understands what a vertex is and an axis of symmetry, yes? Okay, I'm going to pass out your. Put your name on it. We're going to do the front only. Okay, so for 1 through 6, it's super easy. It wants you to identify the a, the b, and the c in the quadratic function. So you should have a equals, which this one's 6, b equals, which this one's 3, and c equals, which that one's 5. So that's what those are going to be like. And you must put the answers, of course. Number 7 has multiple answers, so let's look at what it's asking for. It wants to know, does it open up or down? Okay, so that's the first question. Does it open up or down? So let's look at number 7. Which way is it going to open? Up, because A is positive. So this is going to be up. You're going to want to write small because you have 3 answers to put here. The next question. Find the axis of symmetry. And let's write the formula for that. The axis of symmetry formula is x equals -b over 2a. Now, there's lots of space out in the sides where you can go do the formula, or you can use a separate sheet of paper. It's totally up to you. So for number 7, I'm going to do -b. Well, does it have a b? So what is b? 0. And 0 divided by anything is, so x equals 0 for my axis of symmetry. And then my last answer is it wants the vertex. To find the vertex, I simply plug in the x value of the axis of symmetry. So the vertex is going to be 0, comma, whatever I get. So I'm plugging in 0 for x. 0 squared minus 5. Well, 0 minus 5 is -5. 3 answers. Yes? All right, 19 through 22. Now, notice that the tables are blank. You do not get to pick what you put in there. What I want is this part right here to be the middle, to be the vertex. So whatever's on the left should mirror what's on the right. Make sense? Let's go do this one together. So take your calculator and go put in that equation. Okay, go to your table. and start looking for where it repeats itself. Did y'all find it? Does everybody agree that right here it starts to repeat itself? So negative 21, and then right here is negative 21. Then negative 18, then negative 18. So 5, negative 22 goes here, because that's my vertex. And then you would do the 3 and 4 here, and the 6 and 7 here, because they're going to repeat themselves. And then I want you to label that that's the vertex. So do y'all understand how to do that? So this right here needs to be your vertex on every single one. Okay, on 23 through 25, you're going to graph the function, so use your calculator, use your y equals, label the vertex and the axis of symmetry. So I would graph it, and then wherever the vertex is, I would point to it, and I would write vertex, and I would write the coordinate for it, and then I would write the axis of symmetry is at x equals whatever it's at. Any questions? All right, get busy.
Wait, what